Hello, my name is Beats. I love Dragon Quest. I am ecstatic for Mr. Dragon Quest's inclusion in the Smash Bros. Family. I wanted very little from Dragon Quest and Smash, but I received so much more than I ever hoped and dreamed. Dragon Quest is an important video game for both me personally and for the video game industry. Dragon Quest is a Japanese role-playing game released in 1986 by journalist and game dev Yuji Horii. With the help of popular manga artist Akira Toriyama, Dragon Quest became an instant hit. Dragon Quest has since been a cultural phenomenon for Japan. The great success of Dragon Quest inspired fellow gaming companies to publish their own games to the home entertainment system. Notable titles include Square's Final Fantasy, which was Square's final chance to make a name for themselves, and Atlus's Megami Tensei, which otherwise would have remained on computers. Ever heard of a little game called Deltarune? You ever notice how there are 3 party members? The healer, Ralsei, is green. The main dude is blue. And the mad rad bad one, pink. Yeah, just saying, maybe Dragon Quest had that influence on the games that you like and you just didn't know it. Countless games and media owe their success to Dragon Quest. Once upon a time, famous Japan celebrity Shigesato Itoi was hospitalized for an extended period of time. For entertainment, the hospital had a Famicom and a copy of Dragon Quest. This experience playing Dragon Quest in the hospital served as his sole game inspiration when he created Mother, released 1989. Dragon Quest! I'm so excited. Mario and Sonic fighting the hero from Dragon Quest, and not just one hero. All the heroes from Dragon Quest here. It's a dream come true. No more trading stocks with the princess. Now it's time to murder. As recently revealed at PAX West 2019, Sakurai originally approached the Dragon Quest team requesting the hero from Dragon Quest XI. The team happily obliged, but thought that just that hero would only represent the series so well. So they suggested adding the heroes from Dragon Quest III and IV. Dragon Quest III and IV are 2 of the most popular, innovative, and influential video games of all time. They didn't choose 5, probably because, spoiler reasons. They also suggested the main character of Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII is the first Dragon Quest game to resonate with Western fans. Allow me to now give a brief introduction into who each of these characters are. Dragon Quest very purposefully leave the personality out of their main characters, and leave the character to other sounds. Dragon Quest fills its game with personality in the people who populate the worlds. A woman sits at her loom, worrying about her daughter. The maid serving in a castle is worrying about her grandmother. That's character. Dragon Quest is a game of characters. The hero of Dragon Quest XI is an orphan who learns of his legendary ancestry and leaves town to save the world from badness. Yet his plans quickly fold in on themselves as he is labeled as the source of bad tidings, the Darkspawn. He wears a cool purple and has a wonderful haircut. Sakurai said his canon name is 11. Why? Do you want to know where Sakurai is getting these quote-unquote canon names? You can't find the canon name in the materials of the game themselves. There are no canon names. Sakurai is getting these quote-unquote canon names from... Alright, I'm going to take you on an exclusive tour. I remember when this game came out. This is where you get all your source of canonicity. Here it is. Names! Hero 1. Descendant of Loto. Loto no descendant. Blah. The legendary hero. His name's not Aras. His name's Aras. That's cheating. I don't know what they're doing. I'm upset. The hero of Dragon Quest III wakes up on his birthday, and now he's old enough to go pick up where his dad failed. At the end of Dragon Quest III, you save the underground world of Elefgard from the evil Zoma! And then you are trapped there forever. Happy end. Perfect. Dragon Quest IV is split up into 5 or 6 chapters. The first 4 chapters each focus on a different cast, and the 5th is where you gain control of the MC. The hero lives in a small village with his parents and best friend. His best friend is a shapeshifter. I love her. While hanging, monsters come and demand the legendary hero be handed over. The MC's best friend tells you to wait in the basement, and she takes on your appearance. The monsters then murder everyone, but you survive. Sad music plays. Eventually you meet up with your party, who the player is already familiar with from the previous chapters of the game. Dragon Quest IV is one of the most popular Dragon Quests for its cast of characters, its plot, and supporting party swapping in and outside of battle. It is an old game, it's a Famicom game, so the plot is rather light, however for the time it was quite advanced. I believe Dragon Quest IV would most benefit a remaster. Dragon Quest VIII starts in Medias Res. You see a mouse, a horse princess, a short goblin, and a boy in a yellow trench coat. This boy is a character player. This MC is not the traditional hero like the other Smash participants. You eventually discover that he served as a common soldier at the Castle Chordane. You and your companions are the survivors of a magic assault by the jester Dual Magus. You journey across the world and try to help out many different people, but unfortunately everyone you meet dies. This is the first Dragon Quest game to come out following the Square Enix merger. With the help of Level 5 Incorporated, Dragon Quest VIII was the series' first foray into true 3D, and to great success. This was the first time since the original Dragon Quest that was heavily marketed for the Western audience. Voice acting, a sleek graphical user interface, and an orchestrated soundtrack were added to the English release over the Japanese version in an attempt to appeal to new fans. Including a demo disc for the then new Final Fantasy XII doesn't hurt either. Dragon Quest VIII became the name for Dragon Quest in the West. I love all the heroes. Each game is special and meaningful. I love how each hero uses their respective special sword and shield. 11 with the Sword of Light and Erdrick's shield. Look, it even says Roto on it, I love that. 3 with his original designs for the same equipment is such a great touch. And of course when you think of Zenithia, you think of Dragon Quest IV first. He is the most iconic of the 3, Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the most iconic. It's perfect to give the heroes their ultimate equipment, I love that. There are surprisingly few renders for these heroes fully decked out. I haven't even seen 8 with his Dragovian equipment in anything other than the actual game. See, he wears a full samurai set to match. Somehow, how they appear in Smash is the greatest rendition of each hero yet. Each hero has their respective game's critical hit sound effect when they land a critical smash attack. I love it. 30 spells, 30 special moves, and I can tell you all about them. When speculating about what the hero's abilities would be if brought to Smash, I only thought of 3 key traits. 1. He or she would use his special sword and shield. 2. He or she would cast lightning magic. 3. Slimes. The hero in Smash checks off all these boxes. What I didn't see coming is them adding every single relevant spell from the Dragon Quest series to his move pool. The Sword and Shield. Dragon Quest is traditionally an RPG where the player characters are invisible during combat, so there are no direct references in their sword swings because they are invisible. As for why he does a kick for his up air, likely he just wanted to be original and not have every move be a sword swing. It is kinda like a Goku pose though, and Sakurai did state how he made his movements to be punchy to complement Toriyama's style. And if you unequip all your items and attack as Angelo, he does a kick. That's probably not really a reference, but you know. Fun fact, if you unequip all your weapons in Dragon Quest XI, you will attack with an invisible sword. Ooh! His shield can block projectiles if you aren't pressing buttons. Like Link. Big fact time again, Yuji Horii and Shigeru Miyamoto are great friends. Back during the Famicom era, they would sit down and interview each other about their upcoming titles. Horii-san plays each Mario and Zelda games that come out. Breath of the Wild? Yeah. He got about as far as every shine in the game. Miyamoto has played Dragon Quest as well, but he says they are just a bit too long for him. Having Hero and Link fight alongside each other feels somehow like a grand reunion of old pals. I felt this strongly when watching the E3 trailer for the first time. So Hero uses a sword and shield like Link, but that's where the similarities end. You see, the hero can summon slimes. Link summons fairies. I'm funny. Magic points. So, like most RPGs, Dragon Quest has the resource of magic points, or MP. In Smash, the hero has 100 magic points to use per match. Every special move draws from this magic pool. You have 30 different spells that use varying amounts of MP. Dragon Quest is a game that is heavy on the resource management. Magic refills are, up until Dragon Quest XI, rare items that cannot be bought at will. Traditionally, the only way to refill magic is to find a special prayer ring late game and hope it doesn't break mid-dungeon. And if you don't have a rare and valuable prayer ring, then your only option is to make the trek back to the nearest town and sleep in an inn. In Smash, you neither have access to a prayer ring nor an inn, so instead they have you use your other moves in order to replenish your mana. Other moves. Having 100 magic points to spend and 30 different moves to choose from, Smash does a nice job of emulating the feel of fighting a boss while massively underleveled and squeezing as much use out of the options you have available to you. I never did beat the second phase of Dual Magus without multi-heal though. Speaking of multi-heal, did you know that the Japanese name of the heal spell, Hoimi, is so iconic that it has actually been inducted into the Japanese dictionary? Yes! Dragon Quest Reach is kinda incredible. I could just go to Wikipedia and read you the definition of every spell that appears in Smash. But I've played these games a little bit, so I'm going to tell you my personal experience using every spell in the respective games. I got the list in front of me. Let's do this. Start at page 1. Oh, the Metamorphosis. That's my favorite spell. Frizz. Meta. The original Dragon Quest is the only Dragon Quest where every battle is one-on-one. It follows then that battles are much more simple than in future titles. One of the few spells the main character learns is Hurt, or a simple fire spell. This is not exactly that spell. This is Meta Frizz. Gira is the original Hurt spell, the original Frizz. The hero also has access to this move in Smash. The difference between Frizz and Sizz is that Frizz single targets and Sizz targets a group. After the first game, spells had to be adapted to affect either a group or a single target. Dragon Quest III onward, Frizz is the first attack spell almost every main character learns. In Dragon Quest, this move shoots a small fireball. In Smash, this acts likewise. Frizzle, Merami. Time to talk about New Age Dragon Quest spell name localizations. So the Japanese names are all kinda cute, made up words that sorta invoke what kind of spell it is. Meta Meta equals fiery. Originally, Dragon Quest games localized these names very plain. Instead of Frizz or Meta, we got Blaze. Instead of Frizzle or Merami, we got Blaze More. For Dragon Quest VIII, the localization team decided to completely redo the language of Dragon Quest in an attempt to reinvigorate Western interest. And I'd say they did a pretty good job. Frizz sounds like a fiery thing. Frizzle, being level 2 fire spell, still sounds like Frizz, upgraded. In Smash, you can charge Frizz into Frizzle. Ka-Frizz! Metazoma! So the next thing you should know about how naming works in Dragon Quest is spell level tiers. As to be expected of a role-playing game, as the monsters you face get stronger, the spells you learn need an upgrade to compensate. Most attack spells have 4 levels of power. The naming convention is as follows. Number 1, original spell names. In this case, we'll use Frizz as an example. Level 2, spell name plus the suffix ul, as in Frizzle. Level 3, the spell name plus the prefix ka, Ka-Frizz. Finally, level 4, it's somewhat new. We combine both the prefix ka plus the suffix ul, as in Ka-Frizzle. The hero is special when it comes to learning magic. Usually the hero learns many different low-level spells. For them to learn the highest level of any spell group is an anomaly. Wizards will often learn the higher level fire and ice spells. To put this in perspective, Veronica learns Ka-Frizzle and Ka-Sizzle at a high level. The hero will stop learning moves after Ka-Frizz and Ka-Sizz. Don't let the levels fool you so much. Level 3 fire spells have been in the game for a long time. Metazoma is extremely iconic in Japan and gets a lot of mileage throughout the game. Level 4 spells are very rare and very new. In Smash, Ka-Frizz is powerful and very useful just like its RPG counterpart. Zap. Dane. Zap is the base level lightning spell. Lightning is the hero's special magic. Almost every hero learns Zap. In Smash, the hero uses Zap by channeling it into his sword and swatting it in front of him. This is a nice creative interpretation of the spell. As in Dragon Quest, each level of Zap is no more than just a lightning bolt striking from the sky, with increasing impact. Zapple. Raiding, as in Raichu, Raiko, Raiden. The level 2 lightning spell. Actually, this move in Japanese, Raiden, is older and more iconic to the series than Dane. Raiden is the spell that Dai, the protagonist of the manga series Dai no Daiboken, employs with natural aplomb. In Smash, this looks like a traditional thunderbolt and is extremely powerful. This is fitting given that this move is the single move I would have expected this character to have during speculation. Kazap. Gigadane! Level 3 lightning. In Smash, this move in particular actually has the appearance of another move in Dragon Quest, arguably much more iconic than Kazap itself, Giga Slash. I will talk more about Giga Slash later. Just know that in fact, what Smash names Kazap is instead the single most recognizable move in Dragon Quest. This move is so iconic in Japan I've heard children scream its name out on the playgrounds in Japan. This is doubly exemplified in the fact that this is also one of the hero's 3 victory poses. In Smash, this move uses a huge chunk of your magic power and holds formidable kill power. You may ask why the level 4 Zap spell Kazapple does not make an appearance. Well, you see, Kazapple, or Minadain, is actually a special spell that cannot be casted by the hero. Kazapple requires a huge pool of mana from 4 different characters at once in order to be cast. Kazapple is seen again in Dragon Quest XI, but this time requires each party member to be in the zone before it can be cast. This special nature is likely why Kazapple is not seen in his normal moveset. The wind spells: Whoosh, Buggy, Swoosh, Bagima, Kaswoosh, Buggy Cross. Whoosh is a special magic attack for priests in Dragon Quest. Originally, Buggy was not explicitly described to be a wind spell. It was more described as a holy slashing vacuum spell. Buggy Cross. In Dragon Warrior, they called this spell Infernos. The most famous example of a wind user in Dragon Quest is the Princess of Moonbrook from Dragon Quest II. Once upon a time, this princess also bought and sold stocks with Donkey Kong. Time for an 8-hour video about Fortune Street. In Smash, the hero uses Whoosh beneath him to give himself a quick boost back onto the stage. If you charge a level 2 or 3 Whoosh, you'll leave behind 2 large tornadoes, which is how the attack is originally used. Sizz, Gira, Sizzle, Begirama. Time to talk about the hero's command special. I love the command special. It is so unique and perfectly represents a key ingredient in the Dragon Quest series of games. Open up the menu, and you will have a choice of 4 randomly selected spells to choose from. There are a total of 21 possible spells that could show up. This is brilliant for multiple deep reasons that I will go over later. For now, let's continue focusing on the various magic spells that can appear. I mentioned earlier how the difference between Sizz and Frizz is that Sizz targets a group rather than an individual. Sizz is actually the older of the 2 spells. Similarly to Frizz, almost every hero learns Sizz on their journey. So Sizz in the Dragon Quest games looks like a blanket of flames on the ground surrounding the enemy. Smash has Sizz as a quick, strong fire projectile that does indeed leave flames along the floor, for visual effect only. Now, why did Smash decide to make Sizz look the way that it does? This is actually in reference once again to Dai no Daiboken, where Frizz is described as a concentrated ball of flame, while Sizz is a ray of fire. Sizz in Smash quite obviously takes its inspiration from the manga. Dai no Daiboken is a main influence for many elements in the Dragon Quest series. Several spells and abilities that were original to the manga have since made their way into the games. Some examples of this are the Flame Slash, Giga Slash, Metoroa, and most recently in Dragon Quest XI, the hero Dai's special technique, the Avant Strash, appears directly. In the English release, they call these techniques the Splitter Techniques. Although not all of those spells are in Smash, all of them make an appearance in Dragon Quest XI. Sizzle, of course, is the level 2 version of Sizz. Bang, Yo, and Kaboom, Yonazun, an explosion spell. In Dragon Quest, Bang is an element in itself, so some monsters are particularly weak to Bang. Please laugh. Bang, bang, bang. Bang is a special spell in that it can hurt all the enemies in battle, rather than a group or an individual. This is a level 1 spell, and is most commonly learned by wizards and heroes. Kaboom is the level 3 explosion spell. I like how it has a small vacuum effect before it sets off. After some research, I learned that Yonazun is based off Inazuma, which means lightning, and in Dragon Quest XI they gave the Boom family spells a light attribute. So Inazuma, Yonazun, it all makes sense. I think I should just make a video about all these spell names and their name origins. Snooze. Lariho. Snooze is one of the hero's original spells. Snooze is a wonderfully useful spell, and one that basically every hero knows. In Dragon Quest I, there are 3 bosses. One of them, the Golem, is famously weak to weariness. This particular weakness of golems is so famous that you may notice other RPGs adopt this weakness for their monsters as well. Chrono Trigger, a game which Hori himself served on as writer, is one such example to play homage. Snooze in Smash has the same visual as in the Dragon Quest games, the psychedelic purple circle. Classic. I am kinda sad that it outshines Jigglypuff's sing in usefulness though. Flame Slash, Kaingiri. Flame Slash is one of the moves that originates from Dai no Daiboken. You see, Dai wants to learn magic, but is not that great at it. The best he can do is conjure a fireball in his hands. So he gets creative, and he folds it over his blade. Thus, Flame Slash was born. I'm not sure when exactly this entered the game series. I assume Dragon Quest VI, because that's where a bunch of different classes and items and abilities were introduced. But the most that I ever personally used this move was in Dragon Quest VIII. In Dragon Quest VIII, Flame Slash is the first skill you learn when you use swords. Flame Slash is exactly what it sounds like. A sword slash with the fire element. It's stronger than a normal attack and is useful against material enemies. However, I don't think Flame Slash can crit, and like all pro Dragon Quest players, I'm a gambler. Always bet on crits. Flame Slash is now a staple early move for the hero in every recent Dragon Quest game, in reference to Dai. It's very fitting that it is a powerful spell choice in Smash. Crackle Slash. Hyarogiri. Now this is a move that completely escapes me. Can anyone in Dragon Quest learn this move? I don't know. I know monsters can learn it. Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 Tara's Adventure was my introduction to Dragon Quest. I know Ice Slash is a technique. I'll have to turn to the fact check. Anyway, if any party member can learn this move, it is exceedingly rare. It's probably only available in Dragon Quest 6 and 7, buried deep into an obscure class skill tree. But that's cool. Ice spells, on the other hand, are anything but obscure. Ice magic is the special magic of mages and parallel to fire. Even if you know nothing about Dragon Quest, you may recognize the name of the ice spell in Japanese. Hyadain is a popular Nico user and vocal artist who is famous for creating that Super Mario World song that found its way onto Newgrounds in 2007, and he also created the openings for the animation series Nichijou. Hyadain is also a huge Dragon Quest fan. Hyadain is the name of the level 3 ice spell in the video games. It is often depicted as large ice shards falling from the sky onto the enemy. I assume Sakurai wanted to have an ice spell, but wasn't feeling a projectile, so they went with Crackle Slash instead. This works very well as a parallel to Flame Slash. Crackle, by the way, is a level 4 ice spell. Very rare. I don't know of many characters that can learn this. I think only Jessica from DQ8 and Rab from DQ11. Not sure. Metal Slash. Metarigiri. Allow me to explain metal enemies. Metal enemies appeared in the original Dragon Quest and are one of the few enemies along with the slime to appear in every game. Metal slimes are rare and have a propensity to flee the battle. Killing one will yield many experience points, but this is no simple task. Metal enemies have low HP, about 3 to 5 each, but infinite speed and defense. This means that each attack only has a small chance of landing, and even when they do land, it will only do 1 HP of damage. This means you need to, at minimum, swing 3 hits on one slime for a chance at killing it, and that presumes that it doesn't flee before you succeed. Metal Slash is a somewhat new technique that removes a bit of the gamble that it used to. It always hits metal enemies, but it only does about 1 HP. This sounds good in theory, but in practice it's useless. You see, despite it guaranteeing a hit, Metal Slash will only ever do 1 HP of damage, and if your party is normal, you will only have 1 of 4 party members that knows Metal Slash. That means you are relying on at least 3 full rounds passing without the slime fleeing. The best thing you can do for Metal Slimes is hit them with as many attacks as possible in as few turns as possible, and hope for a critical hit. Yeah, ironically, Metal Slash is useless for everything including the one thing that it was made for. And even the Smash team knows that, haha! In Smash it does 1% of damage to non-metal enemies. But I do think it was a great idea to have Metal Slash kill metal enemies instantly in Smash Bros. This results in some big funnies. Hatchet Man. Majin Giri. If you've noticed, these past 4 spells have all been something followed by Giri, or, Flame Slash, Crackle Slash, Metal Slash, and then Hatchet Man. In Japanese, this is just Evil Slash, and yeah, so that's kind of cool. Hatchet Man! Usually a skill for axe wielders, Hatchet Man is a move that has low accuracy, but when it hits, it usually crits. Hatchet Man is the move that you should actually be using on metal enemies. When you fight King Metal Slimes that boast 20 HP or more, techniques like the Hatchet Man are the only way to secure the kill. The Dragon Quest team knows this, and even shows off a little bit of a grind in the credits of Dragon Quest XI. Cool! The Smash counterpart is rather similar. Unlikely to hit, but when it does, it kills. Hooray! I remember using this move a lot with Yangus in Dragon Quest VIII, very useful. Whack, Zaki, Thwack, Zaraki. This move originates from Dragon Quest II, and is wielded by the Princess Amaltria. However, this move is most famously wielded by Kirill from Dragon Quest IV. You see, in Chapter 5 of the Famicom and NES versions of Dragon Quest IV, you can't directly control your party members. Instead, you assign them battle roles, such as Fight Wisely, or Conserve Magic, or whatever. Dragon Quest IV invented the auto battle system. Kirill is a paladin. I'm sorry, I don't like Kirill's name. I like Cristo, that's his Japanese name, and it's what his original localization was. Cristo is perfect. Cristo. Cristo. It's a good name. Cristo is a paladin and serves as the best healer in Dragon Quest IV. So naturally, many players will choose to put him in the traveling party. However, the AI in the original Dragon Quest IV is obsessed with casting whack. And whack in the Dragon Quest games is hilariously bad. It doesn't work at all at low levels, and doesn't yield experience if used to end the battle. Dragon Quest IV is pretty cool though, as the AI does eventually learn when to use whack and when it doesn't work. The uselessness of whack is so well known that Dragon Quest itself pokes fun of it in Dragon Quest Heroes. Smash portrays it as a projectile similar to the one in Dragon Quest Heroes, and its effect is faithful to its RPG counterpart. Thwack is a level 2 whack spell, and it works much better. Magic Burst. Madante. The single most powerful spell in Dragon Quest. Magic Burst is unrivaled in damage output from the games that it appears in, which is every game after Dragon Quest VI. In that game, Ashlyn, the hot-headed wizard that the party meets in the World of Dreams, learns it upon reaching the spellcaster's village. Or maybe she learns Zoom, I don't remember anymore. Ashlyn is a very good character. Tragic. I love her. I love her! Play Dragon Quest VI, and then cry with me later. Magic Burst has a damage output equal to the amount of MP consumed on use, and it requires all remaining MP to cast. Smash portrays it faithful to the game series, and it is just as good. The only difference is that Psych-Up doesn't strengthen Magic Burst like it should. Kamikaze, Megante. I don't really know what to say about the Japanese name here. Kamikaze is Divine Wind, and it's a cool name. Megante is like Megane. Megane means glasses. Glasses are worn by cool chicks, and cool chicks have a look that stares and kills. There you go. I'll never forget Megane. This move is surprisingly simple. Spend 1 MP, kill yourself. Finally! And maybe the enemy dies too. In Dragon Quest, it has quite a limited use. The only time I ever personally used this move was in the end of Dragon Quest XI during the Trials of Harma, because sometimes you have to fight like 11 enemies at once, and you kill yourself to maybe make it 10 or 12. Oh wait, no, it doesn't make sense. There wouldn't be an extra enemy after you're killing yourself. It certainly would be niche if it wasn't used by one of the main characters in Dai no Daiboken, Dai's mentor and legendary hero, Avan. Avan used this move and sacrificed himself to save Dai and his friends from the evil man whose name I don't remember. This event is what sets the story into motion. In that respect, it is the spell of heroes. And what better attack could there be in Smash than killing yourself? Psych-Up. Tameru. Actually, Tameru just means hold, or save, or wait, or something. It's not a funny word like Mera, or Gigaden, or Bagicross. So that's a cool little factoid there. If you're familiar with Bravely Default, you may be familiar with the Psych-Up technique. Psych-Up is the new gimmick introduced in Dragon Quest VIII that allows you to forgo a turn to build up the potency of your next action. And in Smash, this is exactly that. It's great, but it's really strong, especially in Dragon Quest IX. They have thus removed this technique for Dragon Quest XI. For the best, cause Psych-Up kinda breaks everything. Psych-Up is a general technique and need not be learned by anyone in particular. Oomph! Baikiruto. You know, I only just noticed this now, but Baikiruto. Baikiru. Baikiru. In the original Dragon Warrior, this move was called Baikil. Baikil. Baikiru. Baikil. So, I'm a little sad that they changed it from its original Japanese, you know. But I guess Oomph is still cool. Oomph is a statistical buff to physical attack. Traditionally learned by the mage class, Oomph is an invaluable technique. Dragon Quest games thrive on buffs, debuffs, status effects, and resource management. It is no surprise that Oomph appears on the list of spells available for use in Smash. Unfortunately, however, this can only be cast on yourself. I think it would have been better if you could choose to cast it on others instead. This would better emulate how the spell is traditionally used after all. Acceleratle, Piorimu. Similar to Oomph, Acceleratle is a statistical buff to speed. Pretty straightforward. Keklang, Osteron. Going back to what I was talking about with the hero learning many various low-level spells, then bypassing the middle-level stuff just learning the strongest spells, Keklang is one of those strongest. Sort of. Its usefulness has changed since Dragon Quest III. In Dragon Quest III, it turned your entire party into impervious iron for several turns. Whilst iron, you cannot take any other actions, but you are also completely impervious to enemy assault. Just like in Smash Brothers! This was useful for scouting out new, powerful enemies, or just in anticipation of a foreseen finishing move. It has since changed in that it is cast on a single target only, so now you must pick and choose which party member to turn to iron. Pretty silly, but it's one of the hero's most unique and iconic techniques. Since Smash is not a turn-based game, the usefulness is further lessened, but you can still get some good use out of it. Maybe. I don't know. Bounce! Maho Kanta! I like this name because its Japanese name is Maho Counter, Magic Counter. That's a cool name. Bounce is okay too, I guess. It's not really a notable spell. Its appearance in Smash is faithful, both functionally and visually. Heal. Hoimi! Heal is the first spell that the hero ever learns. Heal is the key to the Dragon Quest series. Dragon Quest is about people. Dragon Quest is about experience. Dragon Quest is about love. The hero needs to learn Heal to love his or her friends. Watch Tim Rogers, I really like that guy. Although the hero cannot serve as a primary healer for the majority of the game, he does learn the ultimate heal spell to match his ultimate offensive and defensive spells. The Heal Slime, an important creature in Dragon Quest, is often shown as a gentle companion rather than a loathsome monster. Healing is essential to Dragon Quest. I am glad that it is in Smash despite how rare self-healing is in these games. I would greatly enjoy if the Smash team in the future updated Heal to be able to be cast onto others. Zoom! Rura! Rura. Rura means ruler. It means ruler in English. Rulers measure distance. Zoom is a flying spell. It takes you distance, and rulers are traditionally used as bookmarks. So it's a flying spell that takes you to past places, like in your books. Yes. Cool spell. In older games, casting this inside a building or cave would result in you hitting your head on the way up. This is hilarious, and translates to Smash perfectly. The animation and function in Smash is faithful to Dragon Quest. The iconic sound effect is intact as well. Hocus Pocus! Parupunte! Finally we come to our final spell. Hocus Pocus is an old spell that I don't know the exact origin of. The most I remember with Hocus Pocus is using it during the final fight in Dragon Quest V and turning myself and my family into a dragon. Being a dragon isn't as useful as it sounds. Essentially, you cast a spell and something random happens. Good or bad, you don't know. But rarely did my party receive a negative effect from the cast. I say Hocus Pocus is an old and odd move because it hasn't been in a game since who knows when. It might be in Dragon Quest 6 and 7, but it definitely isn't in anything after that. Hocus Pocus isn't that famous, and it isn't all that useful. It does have some story significance in Dragon Quest V, I guess, but nothing to write home about. Despite everything, I love it. I think it is the perfect move to bring back to Dragon Quest, and the single greatest spell to come with the hero to Smash. Why? Because Hocus Pocus is a gamble, and like all pro Dragon Quest players, when we have the opportunity to gamble, we take that gamble. I love Hocus Pocus. I just want to say that I am really happy with what Sakurai did here. Imagine if Mario in Smash used every notable power-up in his career to fight. That's what it feels like to play the hero in Smash. Every spell is a memory of a previous Dragon Quest game. Some spells like Hocus Pocus are making their first appearance after a 10-year absence. That's incredible! The fighting in Dragon Quest is always one of my favorite parts of the game. It's wonderful how it manages to be simultaneously chill and strategic. Dragon Quest is the oldest and cleanest role-playing game, and to great success. It allows players to get away with grinding as much or as little as they like. The most novice of players can get through the entire game without allocating a single skill point, thus learning no spells or abilities. Dragon Quest is the people's RPG, and thanks to Smash, people no longer have to ask what I'm talking about when I talk about DQ. No more Dairy Queen jokes. No more Goku jokes. Get some better material, people. The bonus challenges at the Wheel of Harma are so fun. They are the perfect test of you and your party's abilities at their highest level. And of course, there is no ability higher than the Giga Slash, the ultimate offensive technique in the Dragon Quest series. The Giga Slash was coined in the influential manga series Dai no Daiboken. The Giga Slash was seen as the great technique that Dai and his team had to overcome and later adapt for his own use to save the world. Soon after Giga Slash made its appearance in the manga, Yuji Horii adapted it to his next game.
Dragon Quest Monsters 2, Tara's Adventure.
The ultimate magic spell, Kazapple. The ultimate defensive spell, Kaklang. The ultimate healing spell, Omni Heal. And the ultimate offensive technique, Giga Slash. Channeling lightning into their special sword, the hero unleashes a devastating blow to their opponents. For this particular version of the technique, Hero gets a little assistance from the remaining Dragon Quest heroes. In essence, this final smash is a seamless combination of Kazapple and Giga Slash. What Smash calls Kazap is more faithful to the canon Giga Slash. Ah, I love seeing the rest of my DQ buddies. Dragon Quest MCs don't usually interact with each other, and they have never crossed over into other game series before Smash. Whenever Dragon Quest crosses over, it is your friends who make the appearance. One of my favorite game series, Fortune Street, often features all your favorite Dragon Quest buddies playing Monopoly with Mario and Sephiroth. Mega Buddy Slash! The ultimate offensive skill. Mega Buddy Slash! And with that, I would say they managed to cram every notable spell from Dragon Quest into Smash. The only exceptions, in my opinion, are the Ice family of spells and Whistle, the summoning spell. Whistle is simply a technique that is sometimes used to summon a group of enemies to battle. This would have been the perfect opportunity to let players summon slimes or other famous Dragon Quest monsters into Smash. Dragon Quest monsters are a huge part of why Dragon Quest is so enjoyable, and I personally feel that this was a huge missed opportunity. However, they gave Dragon Quest fans so much that I find it hard to actually complain. On average, I'd say 90% of the spells in Smash have the same function as their original counterparts. Some characters would kill to have that level of accuracy. And hey, at least we can summon slimes at will for a taunt. It's definitely a good taunt. The sword point isn't a hard reference, but it is a really cool pose. This pose kind of resembles the North American version of the Game Boy box art for Dragon Warrior 3. Most likely, however, it's a reference to the original idle animation of the hero starting from the North American release of Dragon Warrior 1. Here the hero walks in place, raising his sword into the air every other step. Ah, even way back when, they were improving these games over the original Japanese to appeal to us. This last taunt is a direct reference in appearance and sound to Psych Up from Dragon Quest 8 and 9. I love using this one personally to confuse players who aren't paying that close of attention. Pat yourself on the back, Western Dragon Quest fans, because you are the reason that this is in the game at all. Of course, the series logo is the emblem of Loto. The emblem of Loto is this golden bird, which has great significance that I will not explain. Huh. This joke is much more hilarious the second time. The costumes! Pretty easy, no ambiguity here. 11's color is based off Angela from Dragon Quest 8. 3's color is based off the MC of Dragon Quest 5. 4's is based off the MC of the original Dragon Quest, Descendant of Erdrick. He's also wearing a metal slime earring. When I saw 8's alternate color, my immediate first thought was Terry of Dragon Quest 6 and Dragon Quest Monsters. But also the black and blue clothing and white hair followed the same color scheme as the Prince of Laurasia of Dragon Quest 2. I mean, sometimes he has white hair, sometimes he has brown hair, sometimes he even has blonde hair. All real Dragon Quest fans know that canonically, Laurasia is bald underneath that bomber hat. So yeah, this costume represents both Terry and the Prince of Laurasia. A 2-for-1 whammy. Whammy! There are also some small references to the Dragon Quest box art in their character select screen poses. 3 staring straight at the camera is basically a direct reference to his original Famicom game box art. Although instead of his sheathed cutlass, he is holding Erdrick's sword and shield for all to see. 4's pose is in reference to the box art for the PlayStation remake of his game. 8 is in a pose that shows off both his Dragovian sword, of which there isn't any official artwork, while leaving room to show off Munchie, who resides in his right side pocket. Can't have 8 without Munchie. As for 11, you can see his luminary mark on his left hand. Yay! Neat touch. I love it. Here's Kirby. Just listen to him for a second. It's okay to cry, guys. Kirby's coronet, sword, and shield are all based off of Erdrick's designs from Dragon Quest XI. This is really a cool ability. And I think that's everything. Did it cover everything? Yeah. Wait, no? Oh, what? Spirits? I don't want to talk about spirits. But did you know that the sword that Sheik wields in the spirit battle against the hero's companions is a reference to Sylvando's lightsaber that he has? And that about covers everything that the hero has to offer in Smash Bros. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love everything that he has to offer. But the question still needs to be answered. How well does the hero in Smash mold to the philosophy of Dragon Quest? The game. The series. Where should I be looking? Conclusion! We've talked a lot about what Dragon Quest means to players. It's a game about friendships and people. It's a game about resource management and choice. And last but not least, it's a game of risk. Yuji Horii is a known gambler. Every Dragon Quest has at least some element of gambling in it. And nearly every entry has a literal casino with multiple games to participate in. Dragon Quest XI has literally 5 pages of directions dedicated to telling you how to gamble. Look at these illustrations. They are immaculate. When most people found out that the hero's command special would be random, they said, of course. Random, just like an RPG. Well, actually, there's a lot more to it than that. Random encounters may be a part of Dragon Quest tradition, but it has never been an important defining element of the game. This is proof in the fact that Dragon Quest games have had visible encounters since 2009 with Dragon Quest IX. Dragon Quest XI lets you walk away from every encounter. Literally you. The random battles have been replaced with enemies that live in the places that you visit. Now that they have the technical capability, frogs can hop around the riverbeds, and bats can rest in their cave havens. The command special being random introduces that element of risk, a gamble to the game. You have 21 possible spells that you can get, and all of them are useful, except Hocus Pocus. All of them are useful, but not every spell is useful in every situation. Fighting a villager? Put your thinking cap on and hope for bounce. Fighting Jigglypuff? A buff spell would be nice, but bounce is then rendered useless. Fighting Ganondorf? Though, even in the first Dragon Quest game, there is only ever one save point. To save in this game, you need to talk to the king, who you meet at the beginning of the game. Every step away from the start is one you need make back. If you consider yourself a gambler, or you've even thought about picking up a gambling addiction, Dragon Quest is the perfect conduit for you. Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition was the first game announced for Nintendo Switch, at the time named Nintendo NX. It combines the portability of the 3DS version with the gorgeousness of the PS4 version. Dragon Quest XI is a perfectly crafted world, and finally that world comes to Switch. I am so excited Dragon Quest is getting its opportunity to shine on Nintendo's most successful system yet. It was only a matter of time before the bravest heroes were welcomed into Smash Bros. Family. I love it.
こっちに来るわ。
3, 2, 1, go! go!